Hey, what were your OTAs like this year? Were they different than anything you guys have had in the past? I didn't see you on the list of teams getting fined, I guess, for too much contact or too much time on the field.
Yeah, they were different. So we actually took kind of a different approach than some teams. We didn't really necessarily say we weren't coming. We just had conversations with Coach Zim and just tried to find a mutual ground to say, hey, we want to be there, we want to get work in, but we also want to be smart, not banging skulls in June and May. So what we did was we put these like weird looking helmets on, and everybody was live except for the O line and D line. And obviously in secondary and wide receivers not hitting anyways during practice. So they took our helmets off so we couldn't hit, and O-line, D-line took one or two steps when it was team periods. And but for receivers, it didn't really change anything. We were running our tails off and pretty much getting the same work in, but it was good.
Ty?
To that point of them taking your helmets away, you guys were wearing the diaper helmets after that. Do you think you got better wearing the diaper helmets? You guys were more explosive. How did that work out?
Sure. I don't know. I wasn't a huge fan of them. But it made sense, like once you put that face mask on, you feel a little, there it is. Delvin made it look good though. Yeah, once you take the face mask off, it makes guys kind of pull back a little bit, so you're not just breaking a nose or taking some teeth out. When you have the face mask on, I don't care what the coach says for a tempo, it always gets ramped up. So it actually worked out really good, and maybe looked a little funny, but it was really good. And I think the O-line and D linemen were extremely happy with how things went.
Anytime there's a contract potentially on the line for somebody, and they're either going to be able to live a good life or potentially sell insurance, and there's a helmet on and it's just supposed to be walk through that or just a jog through or whatever the hell it's supposed to be, those things are always going to get amped up. And I think that's what the players have been saying. I think coaches know that as well. That'll get figured for the next CBA. You were the first one, I think, to tell us. I think you told us, you're like, well, if everybody isn't not in the building, then somebody's losing out. So you guys were like going back into the building or whatever. You said there you talked to Coach Zim. Did you? Because I had heard this from other teams too, where the coaches were like, what do you want us to do? How do we fix this problem? Just because the NFL potentially isn't going to change everything and every city won't do it, we want to do that. That's massive. You think that's happening only whenever the coach and the team are on the same page? Like, that's a pretty big step there, I think, to make everything happen in Minnesota and in a couple other places as well.
Yeah, I think it's extremely important. I think communication is in any business, any sport, anything, it's so important, right? And if your one side is kind of thinking that they're talking about this, and the other side's kind of thinking, oh, well, they don't want to do this or this, it's like it's pretty hard to come to an agreement. So when you're able to just kind of talk through things and maybe say, no, that isn't going to work, or that is going to work, or we can do this or do that, and you kind of come to that middle ground and you do what's best for the team, right? At the end of the day, everybody wants to win. We want to win a championship as players. The coaches, they want to win a championship. They want to do whatever it takes to do that. And when you can talk through things and you can find a way that you think as a team, as an actual team, that means coaches and players together, what the best way to do that is, I think it's a really good start, and it really helped us as OTAs. It really brought us closer as a team, and I think we got a lot better.
Hey, why do you think the path that you've kind of taken to where you are, and now you're obviously a star receiver in the league, why do you think do you think your path getting there is what made you who you are? Like, why weren't people aware earlier of how good you were?
Yeah, I think it definitely has helped. It's kind of helped me stay humble through the whole thing too, just of where I came from, where I started, pretty much my whole entire life, pretty much. I mean, being in high school, not getting recruited in any sport, and I thought I was pretty good in a lot of sports, and really not getting anywhere for anything was a pretty humbling experience, and really put a chip on my shoulder from an early age. And then as we went on, to college, and felt like I played pretty well in college and proved that I could play at a high level, and still nothing, not even being looked at all for by any team, not even asking for film or anything. And then after the combine that I went to and did well, still same thing, nothing, and not getting drafted, things like that. It just keeps putting chips on my shoulder. And then getting into the NFL and not being able to play right away at receiver, just playing special teams. It continues to kind of pile up, and there's always that in the back of your head, like, hey, there's a lot of people that doubt what I can do, and I want to go prove them wrong day in and day out. And I think about that when I'm training, when I'm working out, when I'm in OTAs, when I'm at training camp, game day. I'm always got that in the back of my mind, and like you said, it's helped me get to where I am.
You're making a movie. You know that. You're what you're doing right now. This is a movie. I don't know if you know that. So maybe win the American Century Championship. That'd be a good scene. That'd be a good scene.
Wahlberg.
Yeah.
Well, can Wahlberg play you in the movie? Wasn't he a receiver for the Eagles?
Well, yeah, Vince Papale,
Come on,
Adam
dude.
Thielen.
Yeah.
I mean, now we're talking. You know what I mean? And one's all pro, one made a tackle. I mean, there is two different stories, I guess. There's two different stories there. But you're a cool dude.
I think if it did happen, which I hope it doesn't, I think Miles Teller would play me.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's get out of here.